Hello everyone, my name is Ayodeji Vitoye and you're welcome to this channel today to learn what you need to apply for the Chinese government scholarship, the so-called CGX. And let's go ahead and try to understand what are the documents that are needed and how best can you apply for this scholarship. I'd like you to know that if you have been directed to this YouTube channel, and that's because, or you're watching this right now, is because you probably want to apply for the scholarship, or you want to recommend it to a friend. The Chinese government scholarship is one of the robust scholarship that assists students to study and earn while you're studying and have virtually all that you need provided. And if you do your best to put in the required input, you will definitely come out with flying colors, as Chinese government are more flamboyant and willing, in quote, to help students from everywhere to come over to China and learn. And so I believe that you can also have your aim achieved if you really want to. All right, so let's get straight into it, into the Chinese government scholarship and all the provisions that they can make available for you that will be helpful for you, and what are the requirements and what are the things you need to package together to be able to get the scholarship. All right, so I need to know that the Chinese government scholarship is a fully funded scholarship for international students, first of all, and it is for either undergraduate studies, master's studies, or PhD studies. You may want to use it for any of these three categories. However, there are age limits. To start with, it's better you know this upfront. If you're applying for the undergraduate studies, then you should be less than 25 years old or 25 years old at the time of application. And the basic requirement to get that scholarship is your WAEC and NECO, or your secondary school leaving certificate in your home country, like matric in South Africa. And for masters, if you're going to apply for the master's admission or the master scholarship of the CGS, the Chinese government scholarship, then you should be 35 years old or less than 25 years old at the time of application. And the basic requirement, the elementary requirement for that is your bachelor, your BSc, or your HND if you went to Polytechnic in your country. And for PhD studies, you would need to be 40 years old or less than 40 years old to get that scholarship from PhD. And the basic requirement is your master's certificate. So if you are over 40, what should you do? Fortunately, the Chinese government scholarship do not have the provisions for you if you are over 40 to apply for PhD. However, you may want to give it a try, and who knows if you will get it, particularly if your research proposal and other things and recommendations are strong, you might get it, particularly if you're not too far from 40. If you're 42, 43, 44, 45, maybe you can get it. You may want to also try that out. Now, what are the categories? There are three categories. There's category A in the scholarship, there's category B, and there's category C that you need to know. In fact, it's important I also tell you now that the application will be out very soon. Every year is usually out around December, December to about December 15th. The application will be out, and the deadline would always be around April 30th of the coming year. So for example, around 15th of December 2024, the application should be out, and then should be ending around April 2025. And then, however, certain universities may have their deadline very, very approaching. So you might also want to check the universities you want to apply to and see if they have a particular deadline before the actual deadline of the scholarship. So the category A, if you apply for category A, the benefit you have on the category A is that your registration fee is covered, your accommodation is covered. Usually you'll be given a shared room with other people of the same sex. When I say sex now, male, female in the same room, and your basic medical insurance is also covered. And you have a monthly allowance. If you're coming for undergraduate studies, you'll be given 2,500 yuan or RMB in a month, and that's equivalent to about $350 in a month. And because things are relatively cheap all across China, particularly in the southern part of China, that should really be sufficient. And then for masters, you would be entitled to a monthly allowance of 3,000 yuan or RMB per month. And for PhD, you're entitled to 3,500 yuan per month. This is for the Chinese government scholarship. There are other kinds of scholarship like ANSO scholarship, that's the Alliance of International Organizations, and that could pay more for PhD students. All right, and what are the requirements? Let's just go straight right into it. And then if you check below in this video, you'll see relevant links that you need to keep checking to get the update of when the scholarship will be out, and then you can quickly apply for it and be free to write to us if you want guidance along the way. So the requirement that you need is that one, you need to complete the application form. This you will find on the website. Online, you click the link, you can find an information more about it later. You click the link and then you would apply for that scholarship. The second is you need a foreigner's physical examination form. The foreigner physical examination form is the health insurance form. So there is a designated form that's going to be given to you. You can actually download that also online, and you can get that. Feel free to write to us or put a comment below. And then with this form, you basically take it to your clinic or to the nearest hospital close to you, and you will basically do some check, your x-ray, your BP, they check your height, and etc., blood test, and the doctors will have it recorded, and this form shows that you are physically fit for studies, for international studies. And then it's a major part of the requirement. Please note that when you come into China, such a test will still be repeated in the local hospital or whichever provinces you get to. So it's good that you really give attention to that medical form and ensure that information there is actually correct, because when you get to China, the health check will definitely be repeated again, and it just makes sense to have consistency. Please take note of that. Then you have your CV. Your CV should either be written in English or Chinese. Well, if you can't speak Chinese, you can speak English. So definitely, your CV should be in English format. There is no particular format for CV. Just make it clear, have all the details clear, your education section clear, your information, date of birth, I'm married, I'm not married, I'm single, those kind of things. You may put it there. If you have papers, yes, please put it there. If you have papers, if you've published papers, please put it there. Publication section, put it there. Other section like work experience, please put it there. And other relevant information depending on what you're coming to apply for. If you're coming for a PhD and you've given presentation before, yeah, please put it there and ensure it is clearly stated. Then you also need an evidence that you can speak English, or that the courses you took in your master's or bachelor's were taught in English. To do that, you may have to write the TOEFL or the IELTS exam. That's IELTS. That is and TOEFL, that's test of English for foreign language. You may want to write that. If you write that, that's very good. With 6.5 overall band, that's sufficient enough. It's not difficult. You can write it and easily pass it, and then you submit that. However, it is not compulsory to have TOEFL or IELTS. You can basically get a letter from the registrar of your school where you completed your last degree, either master's or bachelor, and or your head teacher from your secondary school, that's if you're coming for the graduate studies, to say that the courses you did, the lessons and the subject you took in your last degree were all taught in English. This kind of a letter will be very helpful and may be sufficient to cover that that aspect, stating that you need an evidence that you can speak English. And then study plan or research proposal. You need a study plan or research proposal. How do you come about this? Many students who are coming into master's degree, may have problem writing a study plan or research proposal. It's not some difficult thing to write. Study, from the word study plan. What is the plan? What is your plan for this study you're coming to? What should we fund? What research do you want us to fund? So what research do you want to do in your PhD? What research do you want to do in your master's? Can you tell us the things you want to study Yes, we know you don't know everything about what you want to study, but do you have some basic knowledge about it? So do some research about that field and write some little introduction about those fields. Write something about what people have done before. Then tell us what you want to do. What makes what you want to do unique? So it's not supposed to be 500 pages. You're not writing a thesis. 2 or 3 pages are enough to clearly demonstrate that these things I want to do, these are the kind of things I will learn along the way, these are kind of resources I will need, and that is why I've chosen this university, because I feel that they have expertise in what I'm coming to learn, and I will be able to learn what I've come to learn, and these are the kind of results I anticipate to get. So this is all about research plan. So basically, and if you for PhD, your research plan should be more dedicated and more elaborate to state the research methodology, the anticipated outcome, the aim and objective, and then literature cites things that people have done before and clearly articulate them and bring them together and say why what you want to do is actually unique and bring that in and why it is very important that it has to be done. That's the research proposal. You're writing to say, this is what I want to do. It's so important that it has to be done. It has to be funded. This is what people have done. This is what I want to do. And if I don't do what I want to do, then what people have done cannot progress to the next stage. So you link what you want to do to what people have done and bring out the beauty in it. It's so amazing. So you don't have to stress. So you need to know exactly. Don't just give it to ChatGPT to write it for you and you don't know what is in there. So be able to understand what you have written. Are you getting it? And one way to be able to write a research proposal, there are many tools online to use. One way is look online for professors you want to work with. And then I'm still going to get there. You can write to professors in different universities about you want to study with them, you want to apply for the Chinese government scholarship, and you would like to work with them and you want them to give you a letter of acceptance. Many of them know what this is all about. And then they will basically give you a letter to say that this is me, my name from this university. I'm aware that this student is coming to study in China, and he wants to study this course, and I'm willing as a supervisor to admit him or admit her. And then that kind of a letter is actually robust to helping you secure the scholarship because already you have a supervisor. So it doesn't cost the supervisor anything to give such a letter, because at that point you are not yet a student. It's just something to show that they are willing to accept you, like a provisional acceptance letter. So if you request such a letter from a supervisor who you want to work with and they give it to you, that's good. And then it's also good if already you can tell them, I want to work in this your area, maybe fluid dynamics, or maybe financial something, or maybe behavioral studies of so, or maybe soil sciences. If you know the topic already or the area of the professor, then it's easier for you to write a research proposal that tailors towards the area of the professor. Do you get it? And then you submit both that research proposal and the letter from the supervisor. It's good to start the application in time. That's why if you start now, you have sufficient time to write such kind of research proposal and submit it to that professor and say, can you please vet this for me? What do you think about this? And they can look at it and check it, correct it, and help you fine tune it so that it can become a better research proposal. That way, when the application starts and you submit that research proposal, it's going to be robust enough. Do you get what I mean? Exactly. And so you have the opportunity to choose, like I think 2 to 3 supervisors. So which means that you can get a letter from 2. If you can get a letter from 3, what if you don't have a letter from any of them? It's still okay. Just write a research proposal that is strong enough and choose the school you want to go to. You can as well check online for the different universities in China. Usually certain universities in China are more focused on a particular research or topic, subject area. For example, in Zhengzhou in Henan, there is a school that is majorly a school of aeronautics, University of Aeronautics. So if you want to study finance, that is not the place to go to. So there are also Institute of Science and Technology, although in China there are certain universities that you see are like School of Science and Technology, and in that school somebody may be studying psychology. So it's common, but don't worry. And then in China there might be combination of courses that are very thick. For example, you see somebody studying technology and finance, and it's the same technology and finance. You wonder how you combining technology and finance together. It's okay. The courses offered by Chinese university allows you to diversify, so maximize that based on your future plan and what you want to study ahead, or where you see yourself in the future. Yes, so that's very important. Back to the study, back to the focus. Get a supervisor to give you a letter. Write to as many as possible. And that's why you need to do this before the application starts. You write to like 50 or 40 or 30, and then if free accept you, good. Then you look for what you do. Then you write a search proposal, and you get that ready, get that packed and ready to be submitted when the actual application begins. So apart from that, then you need your passport copy. If you don't have a passport, you need to go look for a passport very fast and get that set. These are the requirements that are necessary, that are essential. One is the certificate of your previous degree, and you complete the application online, the health check form called the foreigner physical examination form, your CV in English, 2 letters of recommendation. You also need that, and this letter is probably from people who have taught you before, your teachers, your mentors, who can attest to your academic prowess, your ability, your mental stability. Yes, you need that. And then a letter to show that you can speak English, that you can get from the registrar office of your formal school, or TOEFL or IELTS, and then study plan or research proposal to the 3 pages. If all you can write is 1 page, make it so clear and well, formatted. Then you need your passport copy. These are the most essential ingredients and requirement that you need. However, there are certain essential ingredients that you can add if you can, but they are not too necessary. One is HSK diploma. HSK is like when you study English, HSK is learning Chinese, the Mandarin, and there are different levels from level 1 to level 6. So you can basically register for some HSK courses online. There are many of them on WhatsApp. If you want to join any, you can as well email us or message us. We can easily connect you to one on WhatsApp, and most of them are free. There are free versions where they just send messages and then how to speak some little Chinese, ni hao, ni jiu shima minzi, things like that. And then you just learn, and then you learn and you keep learning. At the end of maybe 2 or 3 months, you can write to the coordinator and say, oh, I'm applying for this scholarship. I've been on this platform for a while and I've learned Chinese for a while. Can you please write me a letter to show that even though I've not gotten a diploma yet, I've started learning Chinese, and then I would be able to cope when I get to China. Such kind of a letter written in Chinese by your Chinese teacher on that platform will also speak volume. This is not compulsory. However, like I said, it could be essential, and it could be that factor that will get you the scholarship. Now, or if you can register for a real HSK courses, then register for it and go for it and get it 2 months and get a certificate. That will be good. 2 is a letter of acceptance from proposed supervisor. Yeah, I mentioned that before, but it's actually not compulsory. If you don't have that, you can still apply. But if you have that, that is also good. Like I said, the supervisor will state that you have contacted him and he has got your CV and your transcript and statement of purpose, and that he will be your potential supervisor, and etc. And then the professor will mention your name and all of that. Then research publication. If you've got research publication in the past, or award or certification, please write it there. Please put it there. Oh, what if my certification and the award I got before, they are not academic? Let's say you got something on fashion, put it there as long as it attests to your ability. Put it there. There is no crime putting it there. And yeah, whether it's sports, probably you won a medal in an 100-meter race, put it there. Yeah. Then a provisional admission letter. Okay, this is supposed to be issued by a university. At some times, in some cases, student could message the university and say, I'm seeking admission at university, and I'm going to apply for the Chinese government scholarship, and I'm going to choose you. Please, can you give me a provisional acceptance letter, admission letter? Some university can issue it. If you get that, that is very good. It tells the Chinese government that you already have a school ready to accept you already, and they wouldn't have to stress. You get that? Yeah. So if you have that too, you can write to the universities and get that, and please add it into it. And if any of the Chinese university you choose require an application fee, please pay it. Some universities require an application fee before you can apply for admission temporarily while you're still waiting for the government scholarship. Please pay that and keep the receipt, because in the end you will get the money back. So whatever money you spend on this admission, etc., when you get that scholarship, you will get the money back. All right. Apart from Chinese government scholarship, there are also other scholarships like MOFCOM scholarship and ANSO fellowship scholarship, which we could talk about later. MOFCOM scholarship, apart from the benefit you enjoy in there, they also sponsor. They give you one year ticket to and fro, economic year ticket to and fro, once a year to go home to visit your home and come back to China. So while you're studying, once a year you can go home and come back, and it's going to be sponsored. Yeah, so that's MOFCOM scholarship. You may want to know about that later. But now, I would encourage everyone who's watching this video to now start preparing the applications you need for the Chinese government scholarship. And I wish you the best. And I know that with God all things are possible. I pray that you get that desire of your heart in Jesus' name. And that's my faith. I believe in it. And I know that it works. And that's why I prayed for you. Take care. And if you have questions, feel free to drop it or email us, and check the link below for relevant information to aid your application for the Chinese government scholarship. Bye.